Hello students, this is class 9, chapter 10. The name of the chapter is gravitation, part 2. Student, in this lecture, we'll discuss numerical problems. The first problem is from our NCERT textbook. It's example number 10.3, page number 136. Let's just read the problems. An object is thrown vertically upward and rises to a height of 10 meter. Calculate number 1, velocity with which the object was thrown upward. Number 2, time taken by the object to reach the highest point. Now let's understand, student, what does this problem says? An object is thrown vertically upward. Say suppose I have a ball. This ball is thrown vertically upward. So this ball will go upward, and after attaining a certain height, the ball will return back. So when this body goes upward, its velocity decreases. And when this body comes downward, its velocity increases. That means the body accelerates. When the body goes upward, it decelerates, and when the body comes downward, it accelerates. So student, what is given to us? Vertically upward rises to a height of 10 meter. So to us, height is given. That means the body attains a height of a 10 meter. That means this distance, this height is a 10 meter. This is given to us. So let's write S is equal to 10 meter. You know what is S? S is the displacement. So here in this case, the displacement is a vertical displacement. So S is equal to 10. Now next comes what? The velocity with which the object was thrown upward. We have to calculate with what velocity the body was thrown upward. That means initial velocity we have to find out. So here is this initial velocity. Student, when this body goes upward, the velocity decreases, means the speed decreases, and at this point, at the maximum height, the body's velocity becomes 0. So that's why V is 0, final velocity becomes 0. And the body is accelerating because the speed is decreasing, so we can say the body is accelerating, or we can say the body is decelerating. So because the speed is decreasing, so we'll put the minus sign here. So it's a 9.8 meter per second square. Student, if you throw any body, any object vertically upward, or if you drop any object vertically downward, the body accelerates at a constant rate of 9.8 meter per second square. The body's acceleration does not depend upon the mass, whether you drop a small pin or whether you drop a heavy metallic ball or anything. The body will accelerate at a constant rate of 9.8 meter per second square. If the body is thrown vertically upward, the speed will decrease at a constant rate of 9.8 meter per second square. If the body is dropped from a height, the body's speed will increase at a constant rate of 9.8 meter per second square. So this acceleration does not depend upon the body's mass. So now these are the given quantities, and this is the quantity that we have to determine, the first part of the question. So now you know the equations of motion that we can use. We have the third equation of motion, v square is equal to u square plus twice as. So we have been given u is not given, v is given. U we have to determine, acceleration is known to us, displacement is also known to us. So if we substitute all these values in the appropriate places, and if you simplify, you will get the value of u as 196, square root of 196, 14 meter per second. That means the body was thrown with a speed of 14 meter per second. So that's the first part of this question. Now students, second part, let's talk about the second part. What does the second part says? The time taken by the object to reach the highest point. That means when we threw this ball, the body took certain time to attain the maximum height. So how much time did the ball take to attain this maximum height? So we have to calculate the time taken by the body to reach this maximum height. Now student, we have these equations to calculate the time. V is the final velocity, U is the initial velocity, A is the acceleration, T is the time. Now student, when the body reaches the maximum height, the body's velocity becomes 0. Initial velocity is 14. It's already determined. Acceleration, as I mentioned, it's a minus 9.8. Why minus? Because the body is going upward, the speed is decreasing, so it's minus. And the time. This is the time that we want to calculate. Means the time taken by the body to attain the maximum height. So if you simplify this, you'll get the value of a time as a 1.43 seconds. That means the body took 1.43 seconds to reach to the maximum height. So student, I hope you understood this first problem. Now let's move on to second problem. What does this problem says? So here is a second problem. Mass of an object is 10 kg. What is its weight on the earth? Student, this is also our NCERT textbook problem. Example number 10.4, page number 138. Now student, here we have to calculate the weight. You know student, what is weight? Weight is the force by which the earth is pulling everything towards its center. So force, it's a force. Weight is a force. And how do we calculate the force? We calculate the force as a mass into acceleration from the Newton's second law of motion. But student, here in this case, the body is pulled by the earth. So earth causes an acceleration, and we know what is the acceleration caused by the earth. It's a g. The value of a g is 9.8 meter per second square. So any object on the earth's surface, if you want to calculate the weight of that particular object, first you determine the mass of the object and multiply the mass of the object by the acceleration due to gravity, that's 9.8, and you'll get the weight of that object. So weight is the force by which the earth is pulling every object toward its center. So in this case, the mass of the body, mass of an object is given to us 10 kg, and we know the acceleration caused by the earth is 9.8 meter per second square. Now weight equals force, and force equals mass times acceleration. So we have a mass of a 10 and acceleration is a 9.8. If you multiply this, you'll get 98. And because the weight is a force, so we know the SI unit of a force, it's a Newton, so it's 98 Newton. It means the object of a mass 10 kg is pulled by the earth with a force of 98 Newton. So that's how we can calculate the weight of any object. If we want to calculate the weight of our body, so we must know what is our mass. If we know our mass, if we multiply our mass with 9.8, we'll get our weight. So student, I hope you understood these two problems. So with that, we end today's discussion. Thank you.